ma'am. Have you joined, ma'am? Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am is joined, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, all. Dear professors, good morning to one and all present here. I'll start with the quote: "Be humble, be teachable, and always keep learning." I'm going to introduce our today's guest in this forum, Dr. Doreen is the Director of Computer Intelligence Research Foundation. He received a B.Tech in Information Technology from Madras University, Chennai, MA in Computer Science, and PhD in Computer Science from Anna University. Her research interests includes parallel and distributed computing, peer-to-peer computing, grid computing, cloud computing, and big data analytics. Pre, Previously, she was a professor and head at ATAL College of Engineering and Technology, the Department of Information Technology. She also served as assistant professor at the Department of Computer and Science and Engineering at C. Venkateshwar College of Engineering, and she was a research associate at the Department of Computer Science, Anna University, Chennai. She also served as assistant professor at the Department of Information Technology, SSN College of Engineering, Chennai. She has published about 30 papers in international and national journals and conferences. She is a life member of ISTE. She is also a reviewer for computer and electrical engineering journals and future generation computer science journals. He has been a resource person for the workshop on digital classroom, big data analytics using Hadoop, data science using Python, machine learning, deep learning, cognitive computing, software testing, and many more. So I am very glad to have her in our session. Thank you, ma'am. You can take the forum now.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Hello. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's audible.
Yeah, thank you. So I would like to thank Dr. Padmapriya ma'am, the Dean of R&D of Pratyusha Engineering College, for having invited me to give a talk on the advanced analytics and statistical modeling for big data theory and models. So, and I give a special thanks to Thamba Meshak sir for having rendered this invitation. And always Pratyusha is close to me because I've been there for the institution several times. And from the faculties, from the computer science department, they have visited my company, which is called CIRF, Computation Intelligence Research Foundation, for having the faculty development program. Sorry, it's a faculty internship, not a development program. It's a faculty internship. So a couple of faculties, they came for big data analytics using Hadoop, and certain faculties for data science using Python. So around the year, I always have some kind of interaction with Pratyusha, and I would like to thank the entire management for having organized this event and invited me. Hello participants, how are you all today? Can I get your responses in the chat? How are you all today? Quick, please. We have the session between 10. Fine. Thank you, Sidhu ma'am. Thank you, Kamali ma'am. Fine. Others, Shankar sir, thank you, fine. Just awesome, thank you, Sneha ma'am. Going good for me, Karthik sir, thank you, fine ma'am. Fine, Manigandan sir, thank you. Yes. Others, please. You can say, how are you today? Just in one word. Some of you said fine, and some of you say it is going well, and going good. Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. Others. So most of you said it is fine. Maybe the inferences, but when Sindhu ma'am started to present it fine, okay, most of them followed the same. And others, can I get any other responses? How are you today? Only a few had responded. Quick, please. I'm just asking one word. How are you today? Am I audible? You're able to hear me? Yes? Okay. Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Others can respond. How are you today? Doing good. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. I'm good by the grace of God. Happy to meet a new set of people. Yes. So when I asked a single word, feeling energetic, thank you, Padma Priya ma'am. When I asked just a single word, how are you all today? Each of you, maybe there could be a trailing of analytics because one staff started presenting fine and there was a chain of fine, ma'am. And some of you said doing good, feeling energetic. It's awesome day. For each, just one single question, a very general question, but we had several different answers, which means the mindset of people are different. So today we are going to see how are we going to do analytics with the data and the statistics. If I take a simple statistics, okay, how many of them have given fine? Just see to it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of you have given fine, and one has given energetic. All right, one has given energetic, 2 had given going good, and 1 had given awesome, ma'am. So just a single question. See, it's the same question, but different answers, but the count and the statistics differ. So, right? So when you are into this field of analytics, okay, I know for the past 2 to 3 days, you have been working with data sets, okay, on geographical, the role of data science in agriculture. Basically you are working with the agriculture, right, the building decision based support system for sustainable agriculture using data sciences. All right, so what does, because you already listened to a lot of lectures, right, information retrieval, advanced analytics on crop detection, cloud computing, advanced, okay, today you'll be hearing about cloud. What is that that reflects in your mind when you hear the word data science? Yes, please, you can unmute and answer, or you can give your answers in the chat box. Kindly be quick. Okay, before I start my session, do you want to have an active session or passive session? You can just type A if you want to have an active session. If you want to have a passive session, you can type B. P. Active session. Thank you, sir. Others, please, quick. Active session. Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. Thank you. So active session is whenever I ask a question, I need a response from your side. If you need a passive session, I just keep speaking and moving off. Okay, thank you. What? Because you've already, for the 2 days you have listened to, what does that you mean that is data science? Yes, no, no, yes. All right. Okay, let me present my screen. At least 1 or 2 can unmute and say where data science has been used. Mostly, I think you're faculty members, right? I don't know what kind of participants. Mostly, you are faculties. Is my voice audible, or you're not responding?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yes, madam. Audible.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I am from agriculture background, madam. I am assistant professor in soil science department.
Okay, sir.
1 hour I Institute of Agriculture. In agriculture field, now we need a more number of data to handle easy manner to utilize the farmers.
Yes, yes, yes. So for crop detection, the soil, as you are into the, there is lot of research and challenges are going on to find the quality of the soil and in which time we could start your agriculture or when you can do your plowing. So lot of researches are going on. There is a wide spectrum of research that is going on, especially using data science, using Python in the agricultural side. Yes, thank you, sir. Any others? Would you like to add something, sir, please? Okay.
One of the healthcare.
Healthcare. Okay. You are using data science in your healthcare. Any specific examples, please?
Detection of diseases.
Yes, detection and also prediction. Okay, where predict if these parameters are here, they could get this kind of disease. Yes, please. Yes, others. Thank you for your response, Meenakshi ma'am. Thank you for your response, Muthu sir. Others. And I had received Shankar sir, interpreting data for decision making systems. So we have lots and lots of data, but we needed to use it for making a decision. Okay, each and every sector. Okay, each and every sector is classification of proper data. All right. So, and there are different languages available, but predominantly data science using Python is used for analytics. We'll be seeing about what are the packages that we are using. Is there anyone who are already working with Python using big data? Do you have participants here who have worked with? Yes, thank you, Ruby Jain ma'am. Can you tell what are the packages you have worked on with? So that if it is yes, you can say yes. If it is no, you can say no. Then it will be easy for us to proceed further. Thank you, Ruby ma'am. Thank you, Ruby ma'am. Others, have you worked with data science using Python? Because Python is not a language only for computer science people. All right, anybody. Because in my company, I've trained like mechanical students, automobile students, BSc students of physics. Okay, and so a lot of students and the corporates and the faculties have got trained in Python. Python is not a language only for, it's not a language only for computer science people. Yes, please. Have you worked? You can say yes or no means you can give us no. Hello? You can give your responses in the chat box. Okay. No, thank you, Subramanian sir. So then others, see the reason I'm asking you some question, yes, Numpy, thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. So whenever you give responses accordingly, we'll be able to drive into the session, right? So whatever it is, my objective is the way you come in will not be the way that you go out of the session. At least something new that you should learn and you need to experience it, right? So now to start off with, all right. So we are going to do about advanced analytics, okay, analytics and statistical model. What are the status? So we have to divide the session into analytics. What is that? We have to analyze this. If you analyze, okay, most of you are professors, right? Most of you are professors here. So let me ask you a question. After you take class, after you conduct a test, after you do an evaluation, what is that you do? I presume most of your professors. Yes, please. You have taken the class. You have conducted, yes, performance evaluation. Thank you, ma'am. Analysis of the assessment. How do you do that? Performance analysis is category analysis. Thank you, sir. When you receive the results from the university or any university, what is that you do? How do you do your analysis of results? One of you could unmute and quickly speak. Don't worry, just you can speak fast. Hello? After what kind of, yeah, yes, sir, Muthukrishnan, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir, please.
Based on the analysis, we have looked at the quality of education and what are the need we are doing on the research or teaching level.
Okay, I'm just asking, how do you do your performance evaluation after you receive the marks of your students? What is that we do?
Normally, we are doing Excel or either SPSS.
Yeah, okay. Excel, I'm not asking the tool. What do you do with the data set? Yeah, division-wise analysis with comparing with the last semester. We see how many
Yes.
students passed, how many students failed, how many have got above 90, above 75. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
We are
thank you.
doing a comparison analysis and individual wise analysis also. They are doing
Yes,
assessment
yes.
of the quality.
Yes, thank you, thank you. So assessment is clearly said to assess the quality of the teachers and also to assess the quality of the students. We do an analysis of the existing year with the previous year, and also how many students passed, how many students failed, whether the pass percent increased or decreased, or the individual students pass percentage increases or it decreases. All right. So but just for a simple, this is what we do as an analysis. After you do an analysis, what is that we do? After you perform an analysis, when you want to submit to your higher officials, how do you submit your analysis? Will you submit as numbers or will you submit as charts? Charts.
Bar.
Yes.
Charts bar.
Bar graph. Yeah, thank you. So, consolidated report as star. Thank you, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am. So, this is what is more important even in agriculture field or whatever is your application. We have a data. You analyze the data. Then you have to visualize the data. Then you do a comparison using your statistical modeling. All right. This is an overview of today's session. So, you have our data. We need to analyze the data. Okay, in order to analyze the data, we have to visualize the data. Say, for example, you're able to do your analysis using your Excel. You said you are able to do it using Excel or whatever it is, because it's less number of students. Say, for example, if your data set has it is 20 lakhs of data, is it possible for a human to do an analysis individually? No. Yes, for which, like in Python, it gives you a broad spectrum. Okay, in my institution CIRF, okay, this is my company's name, website. If anybody wishes, you can make a note of it, cirf.co.in. okay, here we have tested, because we have the students who come for training, okay, and they do their final projects. We have faculties who come get themselves trained. We train corporates, and we work with corporate and research projects, like 2 projects are going on. And when even PhD scholars, they come, but we give them the training and they develop the algorithms, right? And they develop the algorithms and they write their own papers, right? So then here in our institution, we have trained for a particular algorithm with 50,000 data, 2 lakhs data and 10 lakhs data for the same algorithm, but the performance is the same. The time consumption is the same for 50,000 and 10 lakh, which shows it is fault tolerant and it is highly applicable to use Python. Okay, so personally, I do recommend using Python for data analysis, visualization, statistical modeling, for deep learning or machine learning, or whatever algorithm that you want to do. If you want to do a classification, if you want to do a clustering, if you want to do a regressions, like bundles of packages are available. Okay, to start off with. So we are going to see Python for data science. So I asked, what is data science? If I ask biology, you will say it is a science of studying about plants and animals and humans. Okay. If I say about physics, it's a study of the physical apparatus. Chemistry, chemical components, right? So each, like data science. So science, which means we learn in detail about a particular component or a particular part. Okay. Data science means, that's first question I asked. It's a study of data. So we need to study the data. But especially you are all trained to do it for your ATAL projects on your agriculture. You need to study the components of agriculture. It involves developing methods of recording. How do you record your data? From where you fetch your data. If I'm going to say, like Muthu sir said, is working on soil, how do I fetch the data and what are the parameters I'm going to take? From which field am I going to record my data? The second is, after I record my data, how am I going to store it? I'm going to store it in Excel format, or I'm going to store it on CSV format, or I'm going to store it as a data format, okay, or it is text. So in Python, you can work with normal data, structured data and also unstructured data, right? If you work with Hadoop, I don't know how many of you have worked with Hadoop. Has anybody here or worked in Hadoop? Yes, no, no, yes. Please be quick. Are you able to hear me? Sometimes I have a doubt. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes. Can you say, Martha, sir, what is that you worked in Hadoop? Okay. Okay, so here in Hadoop, in HDFS, yeah, it's a Hadoop distributed file system. You can work with Hadoop with structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. Even from your data that is stored in your Hadoop, you can directly retrieve it and work using Python. The package or the environment that you can use is called as Anaconda, in which many major institutions are also working with Anaconda, right? So here, today's topic, we're going to see about big data analytics, right? Even in normal Python, we have worked with 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs of data, right? So that is what is the availability. So how do you record? And also CSV. You know what a CSV? It is called as comma separated values. The difference between CSV file and the Excel file today is in data modeling set. In statistical modeling time, I will show you in detail about the different data types they use. If I'm going to have normal text file, I can take a text file, I can process the text, and then I can store it into a structured format or in a semi-structured format using supervised learning or unsupervised learning. Then I can work with my data. So how I'm going to data? I can have it as a CSV file, which is called as comma separated value, a TSP file, a data file, an Excel file, whatever it is, okay? Whatever is the data, my major objective is how am I going to record it? From where am I going to fetch my data? Okay, the second is how am I going to store it and which type of data? And third important thing is that how I'm going to analyze the data. When I analyze the data, I need to effectively extract the useful information. That is what you all said. When you get your results of your college, of your own students, you do your analysis and extract what are the data that you are in need of. Then you make it to be as a chart, as a bar graph, or whatever it is, and then you submit to the higher officials. So you record the data, you store the data, you analyze your marks, and you extract your marks and produce useful information. Only the useful information you will be submitting it to your higher officials. Okay. So now coming into the session. So the goal of data science is to gain insights and knowledge from any type of data, both structured and unstructured data. Both structured and unstructured data, right? So wherever so Python is one of the valuable skills that is needed for data science, okay? In 2016, R on Kaggle, okay, was there for data science competition. In 2017, R took the annual pools of data science. There is R language and also this language, but in 2018, 66% of data scientists use Pythons daily, and it has become the #1 language for analytics professional. So Python, yeah. Why do we use Python? We will go into, because it's a general purpose language, the syntax is clean and the length of the code is short. And he's the one who created this language called Gideon. He's called as Gideon Van Rosen. It's not named after a dangerous snake. Okay, but that was after a comic series in BBC, Monty Python Flying Circus, right? So there's a wide range of applications Google uses: Dropbox, Instagram, Mozilla, Quora, and all these things they use Python. If you're using your Instagram, the entire Instagram is done using Python. Mozilla Firefox is done using Python. Now, for doing your data analysis, what are the packages that we're going to see today? First, we'll see about Numpy, which stands for numerical Python, like one of you said that I've already used with Numpy. The second package we're going to see is called a SciPy. The third package that we're going to see is Pandas. Fourth is scikit-learn. And for visualization, I told, right, visualization in graphs, there are many libraries available like Matplotlib, Seaborn, Bokeh, and so on. So we will be here and there, we'll be seeing about how will we take a data, how will you analyze the data, how will you visualize your data. So majorly we'll be seeing about Numpy, SciPy, Matplotlib. Okay, so is it clear till now? Why do we use data science? Data science is for the studying of data. The majorly we need to have, how do you record your data? Okay, then how are you going to store your data? How we are going to analyze the data? And more importantly, how we are going to project the data. Okay, nowadays, what is that you get every day as numbers in the news? Okay, they do a lot of analysis and they say COVID-19. Yes, thank you, Shweta ma'am. So every day in the news, they do a lot of analysis. Okay, you can visit my YouTube channel. I've done a data analysis of COVID-19 data sets. An entire lecture has been available. Don't worry that you're working with agriculture or whatever. Only your data set will change in Python, but the central content will be the same. Able to understand? If I'm going to use for, as like one ma'am said, Meenakshi ma'am said she's working with health data center, okay, for healthcare. Only the data set will change, but the inside content of Python will remain the same. If I'm going to use COVID, then I'm going to do an analysis of COVID. If I'm going to feed in my agriculture data, I'm going to do an analysis of my agriculture data. Now we'll move on into the different packages. Okay, the first package is Numpy, which stands for numerical Python. Okay, here they introduce objects for multi-dimensional arrays and matrices, as well as functions that allow to easily perform advanced all mathematical and statistical operations. So Numpy is the highly weighted package. Okay, it's the most predominant packages that is used for your mathematical analysis and also for your statistical analysis. It provides vectorization of mathematical operations. Okay, so many other libraries. So the base is more important. The base is your Numpy. So Numpy, on top of that, there are many packages available. The website that you can go and figure out what Numpy does is called numpy.org. Okay. This is the website where the entire packages of Numpy and everything is free. So you can powerfully work with n-dimensional data, numerical computation, interoperability, right? It's easy to use. Okay, can you see here? A lot of statistical computations. Okay, for signal processing, for image processing, for 3D visualization. Okay, so every data scientist will use this package called Numpy. You can make a note of this website, and after which you'll be able to use about it. Okay, the next package we are going to see is called a SciPy. Okay, here SciPy is a package where we work with linear algebra, because without mathematics, you cannot do any kind of statistics or any kind of analysis. I hope you all will agree with me. If you want to do any differentiation, integration, optimization, statistics, there are packages available inside SciPy also. Okay, the website for SciPy is scipy.org. It is called as Scientific Python. Okay, which is called a Scientific Python. So SciPy is here, and Matplotlib, I said Matplotlib and Pandas we are using for plotting. Okay, so these are the different packages that are there in SciPy. Okay, so So if I want to have the statistical packages on NumPy, you can check it out, the NumPy statistical functions, and also for SciPy. Okay, so these are the statistical for correlation, for histogram. Okay, these are the packages, these are the statistics that is available using your NumPy package. And same way you have the difference, because mostly this talk is about statistics. And for SciPy, so each and every package have got their statistical models. So basically the requirements, if you want to do any kind of statistics or analysis, you should use your NumPy, SciPy, and Matplotlib. Okay, here you can use all kind of the t-test, the ANOVA, okay, the pair plots, okay, everything I'll be showing it to you today. All right, these are the this is how I'll be importing NumPy as NumPy. I'm using my statistical models as SM and the formulas. Okay, I'm taking my data sets. Okay, I'm showing my results. Okay, I'll show this example also. All right, so this is about your NumPy and SciPy with reference to your statistics. All right, the next package that we are going to see is called as Pandas. Okay, Pandas, whatever I told, right, when we record a data, when we store the data, or whatever could be the type of data, it could be data, or it could be .excel, it could be .csv or tsv. I will take the data. I need to visualize the data. I need to analyze the data. I should know what is there, the data, right? For that, the best package, okay, to take my data, and I will be putting into another data format called as a data frame. Okay, it is called as a data frame. So Pandas, okay, Pandas is the package. Whenever I take my data and load it into Pandas, my data type is called as a data frame. Okay, it adds the data structures and the tools to work with table-like data, and also it provides tools for how do I want to reshape. If I'm getting two data, if you want to merge two data, I can do the merging of two data with a central value. Or if I want to sort the data, like if I want to have the soil value, this which is fertile, these are the parameters, then I can sort it. I can slice the data. Slicing is whatever the data that is needed alone, I will be slicing and taking it. Aggregations of data, and most important, when you want to do write, say for example, if you want to write your machine learning algorithms or deep learning algorithms, if there is a missing data, then it doesn't allow. Then you definitely need to allow with your missing handles. So like missing data will be handled using this Pandas. All right, now moving on to I'll just open the first example of Pandas. Okay. See, is my screen seen? Yes, no, are you all there? One of the very quiet group. Hello? What are the packages we have seen? NumPy, SciPy, and Pandas. Yes, thank you, Subhashini ma'am. So you understood NumPy, both NumPy and SciPy, they are used for statistical model, because today's topic is we have to deal with a statistical model. I showed you the website and what are the packages about. Inside the package, there are several functionalities. According to a desired functionalities, you'll be able to use it, right? To start with, and the third is the Pandas. Okay, so Pandas, I told we are going to extract a data set. Okay, it is in CSV. CSV is comma separated values. Most of the data sets will be in CSV. The reason behind the data size is small. Okay, the file size, so not the data size. The file size is small and it could occupy more data. Okay, if you work with Notepad and Notepad and Microsoft Word, Notepad takes a smaller space, but you can have large data, but we don't have more formatting. But Microsoft Word will give you good formatting, but it takes a larger space. Okay, so most of the data sets, if it is huge in size, basically they recommend they will be in the form of CSV. Yeah, my screen is seen, I suppose. So I'm importing two packages. Can you see here? I'm importing my Numpy as NP. It's an aliasing. Okay, I can give anything, but here I'm giving import Numpy as NP. I'm using this environment called as Jupyter. Okay, Jupyter is the environment, and I'm importing Pandas as PD. Okay, first for the first example of Pandas. Okay, file is equal to pd.read.csv. So I'm using this package Pandas. So furthermore, I will be referring using PD. Okay, so pd.read.csv. Why I'm using this function read CSV? If it is CSV, then I use .read CSV. Okay, if it is going to be Excel, then I'll be giving it as .excel file. Okay, so if it is a data, so this is how we'll be importing. For the first example, I'm taking Numpy and Pandas. So this is how. If I'm going to use a CSV, then I use pd.read CSV if my data set is of CSV type. If my data set is of Excel type, instead of read CSV, I'll use read Excel. If my statistics, if I have a data type, then stata of data. If it is of SAS, it is that. And like one professor told you, work with Hadoop. Okay, and in specific, you said you work with HDFS. So HDFS is for Hadoop Distributed File System, and it will be stored in the form of .h file. Okay, it will be stored in the form of .h file. And when you want to take your data and you want to do analysis, but the data resides on a HDFS, that data also could be taken using pd.read_hdf. What is your file name? .h5, df. Okay, so that is what I said. You can work with your structured file system, unstructured file system, and semi-structured file, whatever it is that could be taken. So for the first example, I have loaded my Pandas tutorial. Okay, it's a CSV file. So I'm using pd.read_csv of Pandas tutorial .csv, but the delimiter. So I'll show you the data and the tutorial. Yeah. So this is my CSV file. So my CSV file can be in comma separated, or it is, for this example, it is semicolon separated. Can you see it is separated using semicolon? If it is comma, then I need not specify the delimiter, because here it is a different kind of delimiter. The file is saved in CSV, but the delimiter is semicolon. I'm giving explicitly what is my delimiters. Okay, and I'm able to load it. I'm loading it. Okay, it's 1794 rows and 6 columns. And when you see here, there is no header for this. There is no header for this. So I'm taking my data type, okay, and I have inserted, okay, I've inserted the CSV into the file. If I want to check the data type of file, can you see here, I told, right, whenever I take a data which is in CSV file and I'm seeing whether I've got the rows and columns, there are 6 columns and 1795 rows. When I'm going to find the data type of this file, I said the data type will be of data frame. Can you understand? So whatever is my data, when I want to do an analysis using Pandas, okay, I do take my data and put it into my Pandas, because Pandas is a very beautiful tool for analyzing your data. Okay, and for visualizing, we go for Seaborn, Matplotlib, Bouquet, and other tools. Okay, then I'm going to give file.head of, so it will show me what is the first 5 rows. Okay, these are the functions that is available inside my Pandas. If I give file.state, because furthermore my entire CSV is into this variable called file, and I'm seeing the shape which shows me the size of the file. What is a type? What is the type? I told, right, it's data frame. So whenever I take my using Pandas, if I extract my data set and store it in a variable, then the data type of the variable, the CSV, is now used as a data frame. And then I can use furthermore what are the functionalities. So first function is shape. Okay, the second function I'm using it for file.head of. Okay, the first for few 5 rows. And if I give explicitly file head of 10, then it will give me 10 rows. If I'm going to make it as empty, then in general, in default, to take the 5 values. Like file.tail, the same way, it will give me the last 5. I told, right, 1794. So the rows are numbered between 0 and it is 1793. So if I see columns, I showed you this specific data set doesn't have a header. We'll be incorporating the header into it. All right. And I'm finding the columns. What are the columns? And because it doesn't have a header, it is showing the first row. Eventually, I will show you how to insert a header to the data set. Okay. File.describe of. Okay. So file.describe of will tell me the column that has only integers. Okay, the column, if I see which column has integers, only the first column, the others are strings. So the columns that has integers, if I'm going to have a huge data set, okay, then because here it is only one, it will show me the count, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum value, the top 25, the top 50, the top 75, and the maximum value. So just one variable, if I give describe of, it will automatically compute my statistics. Okay, the standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, the mean, the count of all the columns that carries only integers, of all the columns that carries only integers. And the next is file.items of. Okay, it will tell me what are the items available inside my data set. All right, here also you can see the data type is data frame. And now I said, since my data set doesn't have a header, I'm going to insert a header. Okay, I'm going to insert a header. I'm going to use another variable called article read, which is equal to Pandas tutorial read CSV, the delimiter command name. Okay, names is a default key value. Okay, so when I give names is equal to the square bracket, which is of list. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So the first column is the date and time. The second column is event. The third column I'm referring as country. The fourth is user ID, the source, and the topic. Generally, this is the data set used to analyze. Okay, different types of digital marketing through which source this event has reached people. Using the search engine optimization, that is a topic in North America, and the sources is AdWords, and the topic is from Africa. Okay, so now if I'm using this data set, then the technology, okay, like head of, the tail of, the functions of describe of, the functionality is the same. If you're working with your agriculture data set, only you need to change your data sets. Okay, only you need to change your data sets, but the inside how we use your import pandas as PD, the Numpy and the NP, how do you retrieve your data sets? Okay, I showed you the different data types that you can retrieve the data into your pandas. Okay, so the data type, what is the data type of pandas, please? One of you could answer. It's very silent session. Hello. Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Okay. Others, I don't know, you're attending or listening. Sometimes it do happens because it is recorded. All right. That's okay. So it is pandas. Okay, it is pandas. And then, so this is how I've included a header file. Now if I give, and the next function is samples of, if you want to test your algorithm for just a sample of data, it will randomly take some 50 data. Can you see the row numbers are different? And for that you can use. Now if I give read.columns of, it will give me my date, events, country, the data type as object. Okay. So this is how we'll be reading the file. And I showed you the first 5 head of. And these are the data frame. I told the type is object. Okay. So if you want to have it as integers, so when I use the function describe of, it works only for integers. Okay. Now we'll go into each particular column. If you want to type the particular column's data type, then I can give df of and the particular column and its data types. Okay, and its data types. That can be done. Now from all these data, I'm going to take only article read, There are 6 columns. I'm going to just take 2 columns. So 2 columns would be taken here. So 2 columns would be taken here. Whatever the column header file that I'm going to give, those 2 will be taken, country and user ID. So whatever you need, that alone you can take, and also you can store it in a variable. See, now I'm going to I'm going to filter my data. Okay. I can see there are different sources. When you see my data set of sources, it could be AdWords, Reddit, SEO, okay, from where these advertisements have reached. Okay, if I want to take only with SEO, okay, only the columns that have the specific value. Okay, I repeat it, the technology is the same, the way you compute is the same. You could change your data sets. Okay, so yeah, not this, yeah, coming here. Okay, so my entire data set is in this variable, right? Article read. So article read equal to article read dot, I have to give the column name. So what is the column name of this? Let's see. Okay, the column name is source. The column name is source. Okay, the column name is source. So source article read is my pandas name, the data frame variable name. So article read is the variable that contains my entire data set. So article read dot source, which is equal to SEO. Okay, so it will take only the values which is of SEO. Oops, there it is. Not this, not this, not this. Yeah, here. It's only, it will retrieve my values, which is of SEO. Can you see? Only the values which is of SEO. If I am, I can give print the DD. If I'm going to have XX is equal to, if I want only for Reddit, then I can change whatever columns I need to have. Reddit, then I'm going to print XX because it's in a new variable. So the first thing is for, I can see 346 rows and 6 columns are from SEO, and next is 949 rows are from 6 columns. This is from my Reddit. This is from my Reddit. You can also have it as Reddit rows or something. I'm just trying to give. This is SEO rows. Can you see? So it is all SEO, and these are of Reddit. All right. So this is how you can filter the values that you can see. Any doubts till now? Are you with me? Yes? Any doubts till now? No doubts. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Because some of you may be new to Python. Okay, you can try working with that. Okay, and now I'm going to take 2 filters. Okay, so first, hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We are able to listen you.
Okay. Thank you. So now I said only one column we tried, right? Only one column. We tried with one column. Now I want to have 2 types of filtering. So I'm going to check whether the article dot country is equal to country 2. Okay. Then I'm going to take the user ID, the topic, and the country. For this example, I've taken all the 6 columns. Okay, all the 6 columns. Some of the mics are on. Can you mute it? There could be a disturbance. Okay. So here I'm going to use country. Here I've taken all the columns because I just gave what is the column name. If I want to make it with the specific columns only I need, then I'm going to use head of only the few columns that has country 2. I can do it. Okay, and also I can do a double filtering of country 2 and the topic is Europe. Okay, so here I've given head, you will be able to see if I remove the head. So what are the rows? So 462 rows and 3 columns. I've got country 2, only the country 2. I'm not taking all the columns. I'm just slicing.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please share the screen. My screen is not visible.
Okay. Is my screen visible now? Is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So first I told only one column and we filtered all the columns. So one column specifically a certain value and all the columns we had. Now I can also slice what are the columns I need. So only user ID and country. From my 6 columns, I'm taking only 3 columns and everything the value that matches to country 2. And now the next type of grouping is I'm going to take group with 2 values. So students who have got this mark and what was their percentage. Okay, so if I want to take for disease prediction, if their BP value is this and the sugar is this, if the blood sugar and the urine sugar, then I'm going to take of these. I can also have conditions to take the values. So I'm going to take article.read.country of country 2 and the Europe. So I'm going to check for 2 values on a specific row. If both are going to match, I'm going to group it. I'm going to group it and then I'm going to get it. So my date time. So every rows that has country 2 and the topic that belongs to Europe, then it has been filtered, which comes to 79. And here it is filtering all the rows, and here also I can filter only certain rows that only certain columns that I need to do it. All right. So coming to here, I can find the data type. Okay, data types and columns will give me, these are the attributes of the data types. What is the axis, the row labels and the column labels? What is the dimension? Okay, what are the dimension? So article read.end dimension, it will tell me how many dimensions it is. If you've got multiple dimensions, then you can go for dimension reduction. What is the size, the number of elements, the shape we have seen, and the values. Okay, so these are the different attributes and functions available. So we have seen about head of function, tail of function. When I give describe, automatically I get all these things: the minimum value, the maximum value, the median, the mean, the standard deviation. We have seen till sample. We'll see about drop. Okay, if I want to select a particular column that I showed you, how do you that the basic statistics, how I'm going to do it. And also I can use group by function. I can also group by function of a particular column head. So any variable is equal to article d dot group by. So it will group according to some criteria. You can calculate statistics or apply a function. Okay, not mean of. Group by salary and take mean of it. So I'm going to group by the rank of people and I'm going to take the mean. Okay, if you want to take a mean of the salaries, that also can be done. So this is about the group by functions. Okay, I can sort the functions and also I can give filtering. So this values, which are the values that is greater than. So if you are having your agricultural values, this soil should be of this value, then it is fertile, and also you can have multiple things. So only those with conditional operators. Okay, that could be done. And slicing, we have seen how have we done our slicing today. Okay, how do you take only the SEO is equal to only the SEO rows that carries SEO, or only the rows that carries Reddit, or two columns also you have seen. So this is how you can do your slicing operation. So whatever you need, only those values you can retrieve it. So we have seen how to group by, how to sort, and how to do. Okay, how to do your slicing operation. So it's sorting also, I can sort it by services. Okay, so what are the values of services? It can sort of. So the data variable, and what is my data frame? What is my variable of my data frame? Dot sort underscore values by whatever it is, by whatever my column name I give, it will be sorting it, and I'll be able to get it. All right. So basically, in a data frame, we have seen about how to head, how to find the top, tail, the describe, the samples, and other functions. Now, moving on to visualization. Okay, the different visualization, Seaborn and Matplotlib is whether pandas you're able to understand. Yes, no? How the function. So I recommend you to take a data set, because you're all researchers. Take a data set and try to work with the data set and what are the functions we have seen. All right. And now we'll be moving on to my next packages. Okay, the next packages. I showed you about Numpy, SciPy, Scikit-learn. We are not going to see much today because it is basically on machine learning algorithms. How do you classify regression, clustering, model, and validation? Okay, and you can all refer to my YouTube channel. If you Google it, YouTube channel Doreen Robin, you'll be getting it. Just if you Google it, YouTube channel of Doreen Robin. Here in my YouTube channel, I've given lots and lots of videos. Okay, lots and lots of videos. Even during this pandemic time, I've trained more than 5,000 people on digital training and on research issues and image processing. And I told you, right, I worked on Python for data sciences. Okay, then the entire session of 1.5 session is available. The AI, how do you apply machine learning models on benchmark data sets? If you're free, you can just, when you want to learn more about machine learning, you can see to this. Everything is 1.5 hour session. Some sessions are even 3 hours. How do you want to detect objects? If you want to detect some objects from your soil, okay, how to detect an object, some parameters that you can do. The machine learning and the deep learning algorithms, you can check to this. Okay, and for digital learning, I've made a course on digital teaching and also how to organize webinars, conduct quiz competition, generate certificates. That's a 3-hour session. All right, and about the COVID-19 data sets, right? So entire data set, how I've done a visualization, that has also been there. So I'll just give my YouTube channel onto the chat, maybe after the session. If you are interested, kindly subscribe to my channel. Whenever I come online, you'll get notifications, and when if the videos are useful for your research, you can use it. Okay, kindly subscribe to my channel. Okay, whatever the comments you get. Now we move on to your Matplotlib. How are we going to plot the 2-dimensional plotting? Okay, so it's a set of functionalities. Like I can have, I told you, right, the visual, you all said after you get your results, you give it a start gaps. You can have a line plot, a scatter plot, a bar chart, histograms, pie charts are all available. Okay, and Seaborn, first level is Matplotlib. The next level is Seaborn, which is of more higher level user interface. It's more applicable to C. Okay, the visualization is more pleasing. It provides high-level interfaces, but it is based on Matplotlib. Okay, so now I will show you. So I'm importing Pandas as PD. I'm using my Seaborn and my Matplotlib, both visualization. I'm using Pandas, Seaborn, and Matplotlib. So I'm using a data set called iris data set. Okay, iris is a flower which differs in the sepal and petal. There are basically 3 varieties of it. Even if you Google it, because why iris is the predominant data set used by any data scientist. Okay, any data scientist. If you give iris data set itself, you will get it. Okay, that is the first data set which would have been used by any data scientist to start working with their analyses. I told, right, the structure is the same. The structure of your algorithms will be the same. Only the data set varies. Only the data set varies. Okay. Okay. And the next is so this is what is my data set. You can use it for classification. There are 150 instances, 4 attributes, which means it's a 4 columns. There is no missing values in this. Okay, there is no missing values. So sepal length and sepal width, the petal length and petal width. The output is if you want to do a classification algorithm, you can do with it. Do with this iris setosa, versicolor, and Virginia. So this is my data set. So my data set will be of this kind of attributes. All right. So I'm going to take that data set. Okay, iris1.csv. I can show you the data set. Iris. Lot of research I would have done using iris for Ken. And yeah, I'll take this. Okay, so this is the first ID. I told there are 150 instances. Can you see? It's 150 instances, and it is comma separated. So the sepal length in centimeters, sepal width, the petal length, and the petal width, and what class? It is iris setosa, and whatever it is. All right. So we'll see some of the visualization. We have seen about pandas. So this is my data set. Okay, this is my data set. So I've just given head of it, so I'm getting only the header of it. So I'm counting the values. Okay, iris species dot values count of, I told 150. So there are 50 setosas. Like I can give values count, which will count how many values are there from a data set for a particular column, what value it contains, that also you can do. Okay, iris, I'm going to use, because all my datas, okay, my entire iris, which is of CSV, now we're converted to data frame, it is into this variable called as iris. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to plot a graph. Okay, plot graph, iris dot plot. Okay, I'm going to use a scatter plot. Okay, I'm going to use a scatter plot, and what the x is my sepal length and my sepal width in centimeter. So when I run, I'm getting my plots. Okay, so here also I've taken Seaborn and Matplotlib as PLT. Whenever I'm going to use SNS or whenever I'm going to use PLT, it will be my Matplotlib. For PLT SNS, it will be my Seaborn. All right, and then yeah, this is my scatter plot, and I'm going to use a join plot. Okay, here can you see here? I'm using my Seaborn library, SNS dot join plot. Okay, the sepal length and petal length. My data is from iris, so I'm specifying my data is from iris, and the size is 5. Okay, I'm giving the size is 5. So here it shows the bivariate, like sepal length and sepal width and the counts. Okay, can you see here? Okay, the next is my Facet Grid. I'm going to use a Facet Grid. So one piece of information in which plant, okay, so I can use to color the scatter. So I can see the sepal width and length of this value. Okay, this species Setosa is different, but there is a mixture of same values on sepal length and width when I take varicose and Virginia. Okay, Virginia. Okay, okay. Can you see here? So this is how you can analyze when you take a data of even a 10 lakh data. Okay, for a, especially you are all trained, getting trained for agriculture, only the data set changes, then you can use this Facet Grid. And next is a box plot. Okay, so okay, Setosa, what is, now I'm taking my petal length. I'm taking my species, so I can see the petal length of Setosa is small, and versicolor is higher, and Virginia is more higher. So you can have the individual features, whatever the features, like sepal length, pair sepal width. I'm using SNS wherein I'm using my C bond. Okay, I'm using a board plot along with my strip plots. Okay, for better length and petal length in centimeter. The next type is called as a violin plot. Okay, violin plot. Here also I'm taking my petal length in centimeters. So how the in iris setosa, how the petal length and the violin graph. You see violin, right? It will be from like this. So, and also I'm using a Facet Grid, using my C-bond. I'm taking my species, my hue. I'm taking my species. I'm taking size is 6. All right, and I'm going to plot the KDE plot. I'm going to use my kernel density estimate. Okay, that KDE plot, kernel density estimate plot. All right, when I run it, I'll be getting it. Okay, this is my, so how my petal length in centimeter. And I showed you, right, this what is, there is an interjunction that you can find it out. All right, and this is about a pair plot. Like pair plot will be even very, very useful when you work with your agriculture data sets or any data sets, right? SNS.platform, how do you find the bivariate relationship between different pairs of features? Okay, I'm going to use iris, and that if I see my data set, I've got an ID. This is not going to play a vital role when I'm going to extract my features. So I'm going to drop. You imagine I told you about, not I imagine, do you remember I told you about dropping a column? Okay, here I'm dropping. Iris.drop off, I'm dropping my ID. Whenever my axis is 1, it refers to my entire column. If I want to drop a certain row, then my axis should be equal to 0. All right. And then hue is my species. There are 3 species and the size is 3. See, it is generating my pair plots for the species. Now it is, whenever it is a star, it is running. Okay. So here you can see sepal length, okay, the different pair plots, and the sepal width, and petal length, and petal width. So there is a lot of interjunction in my sepal width and also in my sepal length. But in petals, there is a clear demarcation. So these parameters I can take it when I want to run my clustering algorithm. This is another with KDE, the kernel density estimate. Okay, the first one is without KDE, and this is with KDE. It is running. And also I can use the other plots like box plots by species. Okay, and also this is a very beautiful curve. You can use it for your, it takes attributes of samples at coefficient of Fourier series. Okay, this is called as Andrews curve. Okay, this is called as Andrews curve. Okay, so I'm using the Andrews curve to find the species. Okay, so it involves attributes of samples. Okay, sophisticated technique. Okay, it is called as Andrews curve for species. And this is for parallel coordinates. What are the parallel values that is available in sepal length width? Okay, this is of radix vis. Okay, radix vis. And I told you, so this is about your visualization using Matplotlib and Seaborn. And there is one more tool called Bouquet. Bouquet is a very beautiful. Can you see here? I'm using Bouquet. Okay, I'm using this. I can get it as an output as HTML also. All right, by sepal length and width, petal length and petal width. So yeah, this is my thing. And if you want to do your data analysis using this, okay, if I want to magnify only this part, I can magnify it, okay, or if I want to loop it also, only this part of it, that also can be done, okay. So a lot of how would I want to move, okay. So I'm getting it in a normal HTML file itself, okay. I can export it as an HTML file. So this is what it has been done. So Bokeh is an interactive visualization library. It is higher to your Seaborn. It is higher to your Seaborn. So here I'm using a Plotly, another package. I'm using Plotly. I'm going to run plots. Okay, I'm giving a title as Hello World. And here, if you could see, I'm just plotting a scatter plot. X is 1, 2, 3, 4. Y is 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm getting as an HTML. Can you see? 4 to 1 and 1 to 4. Likewise, I'm just plotting a graph. So this is another visualization called using Plotly. Okay, even in Plotly, I will get an output like, so this is a scatter plot. It's more of good visualization tools. So whatever is the data, more visualization if you do, then it will be of better use. Okay, still more things are there. Maybe I'll stop with this here, and then we'll move into our statistical models now. Okay, we have got very less time. Whether you're able to understand, yeah, agriculture, lot of data are available. It is basically, specifically when you want to run with your algorithms, you have to take data called as benchmark data sets. Okay, Sridev ma'am, you asked, you have to take data which is benchmark. Then you will start working with that analysis, and then you can take you can write even your own algorithms. Then if you want, if you take your data sets from the agricultural people, the different values, and it is always advisable to have people who have done in agriculture, so they will say what is that, and along with that, when you take your data set, I generally say to use benchmark data sets. Okay, so that will validate your algorithm, and then you can feed your own data sets, and accordingly you can do. Whether you were able to understand till now whatever I said? Yes, no, no, yes. Hello. So we have seen about the different visualization. Thank you, Ashok ma'am. Ashok sir, thanks, sorry, Ashok sir. So we saw about Seaborn, Matplotlib, Plotly, and Bokeh. And still many more tools are there. Now I will be moving on to your statistical. I'll just run through it because we need to complete it by 11:30. We've got 10 more minutes to go. Okay, now this is huge, but I'll just give you a glimpse of it. Okay, I'll just give you a glimpse of it. So statistical data, how do you want to do your statistical model? Till now, what we have seen is how to analyze your data, how to visualize your data. Okay, so here, if you want to do your hypothesis testing like a t-test or chi-square test or analysis of variance, ANOVA, okay, and you have to provide with your different models. So I'm going to use a matplotlib.inline. Here I'm using my Numpy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Okay, this I'm doing some initializations to give my entire maximum rows as 20 and columns. When you see here in my first example, you can see some dots here. Can you see? After 20, you are not able to see. If I give my maximum as 999, 999 is my maximum. If I set this up, and then if I run it, I'll show with that example. Insert syllable. Okay, I can maximum give 999. Can you see? I'm able to see all the rows and columns. Initially, I was not able to see. I had some dots. If you want to visualize all the rows, you have to do your display settings like this. So before you could see when I run it, it was after 99,064. Now if I run it, you will be able to see all the rows without the dots. So that is what is being done here. Any doubts, you can put it into your message. Okay. Do not worry, by 11:30 I will complete it. Okay. If you want to have a recurring statistic to find the estimate of parameters, then I can use mu and sigma. Okay. Okay, in parametric inference, we specify a suitable distribution. I told you we can use histograms, right? I'm using a Numpy. Import Numpy as NP. I'm just giving a numerical, an array, and I'm using to visualize my histograms of my data. Okay, how to find the fitting of data to probability distribution? So can you say what are the probability distributions that you know, please? One or two can answer quick. Hello? What are the probability distributions that you have seen? That you know? At least the names. Yes, please, kindly be quick. Is anybody answering? Yes, thank you. Gaussian distribution. Others? Thank you, Panak Mukherjee, ma'am. Okay. So like that, if I want to do the methods of moments, choosing the parameters from the samples, okay, or if I want to see the maximum likelihood, which is to observe from it, okay, or discrete random variables, if I want to use a probability mass function, as an example like Poisson distribution. If it is continuous random variables, then I go for normal distribution. If it's like discrete, then I can go for Poisson distribution. If it is continuous, then I go for normal distribution. So I'm taking this data set, okay. So NOA precipitation data for Nash Valley, okay. So for the it's often a good fit to aggregated rainfall data. So from 1871, okay, this is the data I've taken. Nashville precipitation dot text. Yeah, this is the data set. This is the data set I've taken. Okay, for January, February, March, April, May, June, July, from 1871, the rainfall till 2011. Okay, till 2011. All right. Likewise, you can take your crops data or whatever it is. And then I'm reading it from the table because it is text and they've given tabs. I'm giving it as table. I'm indexing. The delimiter is white space because they've given a white space between every columns. So you remember in Pandas tutorial gave semicolon, but the data set here, I'm giving the delimiter. If there is no value, then I'll be giving NA. Okay. So I have an index column. So index column is the 0th column. Okay, I'm getting it as head. Okay, if I'm not going to give ERECIP, I'll get my entire data set also. Right? When I run that, yeah. After that, if I run this, okay. So 141 rows and 12 columns from January to December. Okay. So I'm trying to find the histograms for this data sets. So I can see which month the rainfall is high and in which month we had more number of rainfalls. Then I'm going to use a gamma distribution. Okay, I can fill up the values and I can find the mean of all the January. Okay, and then the variables. And after that, I'm going to generate my alpha and beta for each month. Then I'm going for skykip.stats.distribution. I'm importing my gamma distribution. You remember gamma distribution, histograms, and I'm using my Matplotlib. I'm doing my histograms. And on top of that, I'm using linspace, which is called as it will automatically give me an interval. It will automatically give me the intervals. Okay. So between 0 to 10. Okay. And using my alpha and beta, it has been generated. And next I'm going it for my Raven. Okay, so I'm going to looping over the months. I can have a grid of plots. Okay, so distribution of rainfall, in which month the distribution, how the distribution of rainfall been there from 1817. Okay, the maximum likelihood. Okay, the method of moments. Okay, so I'm using the Poisson's distribution that describes the distribution of some certain discrete variables. Okay, so that I've seen. I'm using lambda user defined functions. Okay, the Poisson values, and then I get my Poisson distribution here. Okay, for the data set. All right, and the maximum likelihood estimation, I can use my optimization importing using Newton, which is here a Newton Raphson coverage. Okay, using arbitrary. So this functionality I'm using it, and PSI polygamma, and many more is there. The gamma distribution, the truncated distributions. So all kind of distribution. This is the norm. This kind of algorithm, Elder-Made simplex algorithm, can be used. Okay, only with one data set you can see how many kind of statistical analysis being done before we propose a model. Okay, so finding this data, you can also think of taking a data values, how it is on January, mid-January, the late January, and then which should be usable for the crops, or what decision should be taken by the decision support system of our algorithm, and give them a prediction. If it has been done, then the agriculture product will be better, agriculture field will be the Gaussian KDE kind of. And this is another disease. Okay, I will stop with this. Okay, this is the next thing, cervical dystonic database. Okay, so for patients, they have taken this, and then how it again goes for a long time. Okay, so in today's session, I think I'm on time, or I've exceeded few minutes. Okay, so today we started with how to start with the data sciences. Okay, and the basic packages we have seen is Numpy, SciPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and I showed you about Seaborn, Bokeh, and Plotly. And at the end, I showed you the different statistical models. To learn more, you can work on with numpy.org, scipy.org, the different statistical projects. And then I showed you the different distributions, the normal distributions, the Gaussian distributions. It's still there is more. I just took the rainfall data sets. I took the rainfall data sets and how it has been any data set. I'm going to take it from my data set and I'm going to change it to Pandas. The data type is data frame, and then I will be doing my analysis. I'll be doing my visualization. Then I can do my statistics, and you can also work with machine learning and deep learning. Even I remember I was doing a research project of how to find, maybe it's on finding the soil and the prediction of crops. And we don't have an entire view of our rainfall. Like other countries, they have the prediction of how the dryness that is going to happen. In India, we don't have. Some of you could think of doing, because I started doing the research on it, and anybody interested also could do works on it. Okay, the dryness of an area. Okay, the water level in the ground. Okay, if it is going to get lessened, we can have our own prediction. These are some research problems available, and I will just show my contact details if anybody is interested to contact, because we work with a lot of research projects basically, and we give training to people also. If anybody you are interested to get yourself trained to how to work with to be a data scientist, our courses are like 20 hours and 40 hours. The course fee is according to the hours that you do, and even we guide the research scholars to develop their algorithms. I basically give the training. Okay, here we don't give any codes like that. We give training to the researchers, and then they develop the codings. When they get here, we help them in debugging, and we work with company projects and research projects also. And CIRF is open to collaborate with universities to work on with. Okay, and this is my mobile number, 900302135, and that's my mail ID. You can make a note of it, and my company's website. Okay, and my company's website. And once again, I would like to thank Pratyusha College for having invited me to deliver a talk. Hopefully it was good. Okay, How was the session? You're able to get insights. But whatever if it is, if you put your hands on session, then you'll be able to do it. And again, I'll once again give my YouTube channel videos. Thank you, Vijaya Lakshmi ma'am from Vistas. Okay. Thank you, Siddha ma'am. And I encourage you all to explore, to learn, and work with more on data sets and data science. Any doubts, you always feel to contact me. I've shared my contact details. Over to Padma Priya ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It
Welcome,
was a
ma'am.
very informative session, ma'am. I think
Welcome.
everyone liked it. And I
Thank
have also posted a contact in the group also, WhatsApp group also.
Sure, sure.
So I think they will be, because everyone is doing with the research with data science. It can be agriculture, it may be other fields of thing also. So they will be surely contacting you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. It's a short invitation, a short span of time I gave you, but you have accepted me kind-heartedly and gave me a nice session. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Welcome, welcome. I would like to thank you all for giving me the good feedback about the session. A special thanks to Tamba sir for his invitation on the talk, and for all the organizers. Conducting an event is not that easy. Listening to an event virtual is also not easy. Okay, it's a difference between physical and virtual learning. And I encourage you all to do, and whenever you have got doubts, feel free to contact me. So as a group of faculty members, let's know. I always say when teachers are getting trained on hands-on through you, thousands and thousands of students will be trained throughout their lifetime, throughout their lifespan. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you all once again. Bye-bye. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Participants